Walking Not My Favorite. I'm your host, Derek. I'm here with super producer Scott and Fuego. So I got this email. Okay. So it was part of this production, Race the Movie, the play, written by Brett Rabel, Christian Duran. I was part of the initial run. I helped contribute some of the dialogue to the play, which I was happy to help you punch up. And I played several characters in the play. And we did it a few years ago. It was really pretty successful. And then those guys kind of sold it off, I think, to a producer.
Yeah.
And so we went through a negotiation period. They brought us back as actors. During that negotiation period, we became part of like the union as part of it so that we could, people who needed the benefits could get them. I didn't need the benefits because I don't need health insurance. Being a veteran, I have VA health insurance, and then also have health insurance through my wife as well. But regardless, I'm fine. Even if I didn't have my wife, I would have like just some form of health insurance. But also like there are other benefits to the union. So we go to this rehearsal. We get a speech from the producer. We do a rehearsal. I come home that night and I get a text message saying, "Hey, don't show up to rehearsal tomorrow." It's lengthier than that, but like, please confirm you received this.
Yeah.
So I texted Maddie Smith, who's a part of it, friend of the pod. Maddie Smith, and she's in it too. And I texted her to make sure she also got the same text message because I didn't know if this was like, Derek said something during the rehearsal that was maybe problematic or something like that, which I didn't, but like
nothing that was written.
Yeah. That's the thing is like, I think I'm one of the one white people who doesn't say the N-word during the play and missed opportunity. But no, I was happy about that. I wore that as kind of a badge of honor because I don't really want to be running around saying there's one character who says it a lot. But like it's signed off on by all the black actors and the black writer.
Yeah.
So it's just part of the spook. Of course. Yeah. And so, anyways, so then we get this email saying that the production's been put on hold, possibly until the fall. And I don't know how much I've been given like some vague kind of stories as to what happened. I don't think I think this person bit off more than they could chew. And the funding that they anticipated didn't come through. Sure. So I feel really bad for Christian and Brett. They wrote the property, and it's their baby. And so they wanted to see this into fruition, and they wanted to have us all be a part of it. And I was really stoked to be back for it. So I texted them, and then I thought about, well, all right, we did a whole video about it. I had to cancel, this weekend I should be going to Austin to do the mothership. But that's one of the gigs that I moved. Plus, I turned off all my avails for all the clubs. I canceled some pre-booked spots. I canceled a weekend at a different club to make this happen. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, I lost out on all that money, and then I lost out on the contract money. What the hell?
Yeah.
So then we get an email a couple of days later from the Actors Equity Association. Now, Maddie was our deputy. She was our rep. Mm-hmm. Between actors, they actually nominated me, and I said no because I'm not a cop. And so that Maddie did it, and Maddie's I don't know what sort of like management apparatus that she has around her, but she's got people I think who maybe possibly would for her. But she forwarded all this stuff over to Actors Equity. They said they'd never even experienced anything like this before, so they sent us an email saying, well, due to the production being halted, canceled, you're going to receive 2 weeks of what your salary was supposed to be. Sure. So roughly about half the money I probably should have been paid over the time. But more importantly than that, I was just really excited to do this play.
Yeah.
I was like doing on her rehearsal for it. I was like, this is going to be fun. I want people to come see it. When they put out promo, all these sponsored ads, people were commenting with my name in it. Like, oh, Derek Humphrey's in this. Great. I can't wait to go see it.
Nice.
So it's like, oh, cool. This is something where people remember me from and they're coming out to see me because sure as shit, it's not my stand-up. Even though I'm really good at that. But anyways, So then I get an email yesterday from one of the people with the production, and it said, hey, we know we were supposed to pay you 2 weeks pay, but we're only going to give you like $500, which isn't even 1 week's pay. And not even close. And so I just texted Maddie and I was like, $500 fucking dollars. So she just got involved, got the union rep involved with it. And then I got some more emails today saying I needed to forward over to the union all the emails and everything that we got from this production.
And is the people that are supposed to pay you the people that pulled out?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah. I think the people who are supposed to pay me are. So, as I understand it, there's one main woman who bought the property. I'm reluctant to say her name because I don't want to be sued for libel or defamation or anything like that. You know? And then she contracted out, as I can understand, she partnered with this production company, which has a history of putting on great productions.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's her, if it's them, if it's the two of them. I also respect this production company and the properties that they put out before, and they have a track record of good things. But, as far as I know, the play is over. The writers, from what I understand, are possibly attempting to dissolve their relationship with the producer and get their property back and bring the play back in a different capacity. Because the play was expensive. It was $75 a ticket.
Yeah.
That was just for regular seats. If you got early bird, it was $40 all in. And then there's a promo code for $10 off. Then there's premium seating, which was $120.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you get with that? To sit up front? I just don't, whatever.
You get to say the N-word.
Yeah, you can say the N-word one time. Yeah. So then now the union is involved, and now I'm grateful that there's a union there.
Of course.
Because otherwise, well, here's the thing. So growing up where I did, I learned over time to be very distrusting of the union. Because of unions in general. And that I could have been propagandized as a youth. But Toledo, as I mentioned before on this podcast, it used to be a manufacturing hub. There used to be a lot of factories there and stuff like that. Everything was very unionized, especially through the United Auto Workers Union.
Yeah.
But some people who I knew personally or had met or whatever, they took full advantage of the union. And the union, not showing up to work and then being Rob, union, you can't fire me. Or, it's just kind of abusive in a sense. And I think part of the reason that cars coming out of Detroit in the 80s were late 80s and early 90s were dog shit. My grandma had a Pontiac Sunfire that just started to just rust out really early. And we were in Ohio, we're landlocked. There's no sea around. There's no reason that a car should be rusting out. There's no salt water present. And what I was told when I was young was the unions are making so many demands and they're trying to raise, the workers keep going on strikes. They have to raise the cost of production. So they have to cut costs in other areas to make shitty cars.
Yeah.
But that's when the proliferation of Toyota really happened within our area. And we had a Toyota Camry in the 90s. We drove it one time to a Tigers baseball game and somebody keyed it because it wasn't a Dodge or a Chrysler or a GM.
Wow.
Yeah. And now Toyota, BMW, Volvo, I think, are all more American than Dodge is.
Sure.
Because NAFTA, they sent all the jobs to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Because they could pay those people nothing. No unions there.
Yeah,
they just throw bodies at it there, Which NAFTA, Bill Clinton thing, Democrat thing. Although I'm sure Republicans were pretty supportive of it. Yeah. When it comes to money, there are no party lines.
No, well, you're figuring out how much that's everything.
Yeah.
So why are you distrusting of the union? What?
Well, because of that reason. Because growing up, it was after a while, it was unions were bad. Also, Jimmy Hoffa, was prominent within the area.
So it was more of a moral thing. Like they're gonna fuck you.
No, I just didn't. Yeah, well, here's the thing: is I had never been a part of the union.
Yeah,
I've never been a part of the union. This is actually probably this Actors Equity Association. Probably for the week I was in it, the only union I've ever really been a part of. Not a union in the military.
yeah.
I was always a line cook before I joined the military, or I worked various like factory jobs. There's one factory job that I worked is a place called Crumb Manufacturing. It used to make components that would make like hoses for your car. Okay, and I made like $8 an hour. But this is like year 2000. You could afford a one bedroom apartment making $8 an hour back then.
Yeah,
my rent was $300. Yeah, $300.
Holy shit!
My phone bill was probably like $25.
Oh man, good old days.
But there was I didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah,
I didn't have a computer, I didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
It was great, honestly. I didn't even have a TV. I had a stereo, I had CD collection, and I had books. So, anyways, when I worked at Crumb Manufacturing, the owner, Ernie Crump, he said, the minute you guys start talking about putting out a union, I know. The minute you guys start talking about putting together a union, like, I'll close this place up and move it to Mexico. And I think that was an empty threat because I don't think he had enough money to. Yeah, it wasn't that big of a factory. It was like, the size of a good sized warehouse. Yeah. There's a million of them in Brooklyn, like warehouses that size that like housed all this equipment. So yeah. I just didn't really think of it. So, but anyway, so yeah, it was like, but that's a rich guy. So, and I'm an impressionable young guy thinking like unions are bad. But yeah. I'm distrusting of any entity outside of like my fucking marriage.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I worked at a hotel and we were hiring a guy. Yeah, I had HR call me and told me that we need to figure out a reason not to hire him because he's a guy who will try to start a union.
When I worked at a hotel, we were non-union. And when I was moving up to New York and I was telling my friends that I was thinking about looking for like a hotel job, they're like, we have to join the union. And my one boss, he made it sound like it was a really bad thing. He goes, because like, okay, so in the hotel that I worked at, like everybody's responsibility was to like make sure everything was pristine all the time, right? Yeah. So if somebody spills something on the floor and you're standing right there, it's like, look around, grab something to clean it up right away. Don't wait for like, of course, don't wait for like the housekeeping to come do it. Yeah. But he was saying that like, if you do that, then you violate like a union rule.
Yes.
And therefore
not their job.
It's you're screwing up their job and now there's union people involved and you're not supposed to be doing that. Now the way I understand it, and I've been around some of these, places, unions and stuff, is to protect their jobs. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, some corporation and some CEO and some board is getting rich.
Yes.
Our hotel during the housing crisis of 2008, I think it was it during 2008 was the housing crisis? I can't quite remember. Yeah. When the first thing that nationally everybody started to cut out of their budget were vacations.
Yeah.
Right. We catered to the top 5% of leisure travelers in the world. We actually made money. And still made money. And what would happen though is that somebody would quit the job and we just wouldn't replace their job. They would give them to me. So I was doing like 3 jobs by that's one point in time I was doing like within like a 14-month calendar period. I calculated out that I was doing 3 people's jobs and I wanted money back for it. And they said no. So I was like that ended up helping me make the decision to leave at a certain point. I talked either with you on the podcast or not on the podcast about the amount of work that I turned down to do this. And
yes.
What's funny is like on the day of the rehearsal, I got a text from, or an email from my agent who had asked if I was available for a movie because the movie was going to shoot during a possible extension of the play. And I said, it's 50-50. And so they went back, he went back to them and said, well, he might be available. But that when you get that into the back of somebody's mind, they're like, oh, well, he's just not going to be, we can't count on him. We don't want to move forward in the process with this because he might not be available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so I could have potentially lost out on that too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to directly amount it to like what happened with it and say, well, it's their fault, but like, I'll never know.
Yeah, of course.
And I would, the movie had more speaking dialogue for me than the played it.
Yeah.
And it was with Superman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not the Superman from the movie, the Superman from the TV show. Still not Dean Cain either, but yeah. But it was the guy who was on the CW Superman. I really liked that show too. I watched all of it.
Smallville?
Not Smallville. There's one that was out as part of the Arrowverse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Superman and Lois.
Okay.
It was about older Superman after he went back to Smallville and had a family.
Okay.
He has 2 sons with Lois Lane. And so it was about him as a dad. It was a good show. It was CW stuff, whatever, but like he was a good actor, the character, right?
Oh, the kid's super? Sorry,
the kids end up being super.
Okay.
I think everybody ends up being super.
Okay.
You know, except for Lois, that dumb bitch. That was bland. Anyway, so you know, who knows? But it's a lost opportunity, and I don't know what the future holds for the production or for me, but it gives me certain feelings that make everything pretty untenable moving forward. Not to go with certain things.
Don't you feel like in the business though, it's just like one day it's all the way up, one day it's all the way down. Like it's just so hard to like, you just can't, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But I am grateful for the union, and hopefully they get this thing sorted out.
Yeah, that's
you know. But I have further concerns about it that I can't address. But whatever. So, I wanted to have Cody Marino on the podcast today.
Okay.
He just got back from Japan, but I wanted to talk to him because they had Cody is a MMA guy.
Yeah.
He's at, from what I understand, Team Savage over in Long Island City.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask him about the White House thing.
Yeah.
Because they had the a couple of big events happened over the weekend. Knicks won the championship.
Yes.
We're missing the Knicks parade to record this.
No, it's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow morning.
Maybe I can't go. I don't know.
The reaction to maybe you can go is I couldn't feel that more.
Yeah, it is.
Like, oh no, I have to.
Well, my friend that I was talking to on the phone last night, he was in Chicago when the Cubs won the World Series, I think, and he said that a Chick-fil-A parade is amazing. Yeah. It's an amazing thing to be a part of. Well, I'm not a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much. And then also, like, I don't want to leave my dog alone for. I know that's such a dumb thing to say, but like, that's have like other stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I don't like I don't go out on New Year's Eve, St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo. I don't do parades generally or big, huge events because, like, too many bad things can happen when you gather that many people in one spot.
Do you like crowds?
I'm big into crowds.
I also don't hate crowds, and it feels like this is just the thing to be in a crowd.
Yeah.
Because they guaranteed you're going to stand in a crowd. That is the whole point.
Yeah, you're going to stand in a crowd. You're not going to have access to any bathrooms.
The train
there and back is just going to be packed with people, and I'm happy for everybody, but I don't want to. You know, it's the Knicks aren't my team. Yeah, it's gonna be hot. The Knicks aren't my team either. I'm happy that the Knicks won. I'm happy for all my New York fellows who don't have a personality outside of the basketball scene. I mean, I've seen some content from some people, and I'm like, this is you all the time. This is all you are. So you don't have anything to say about anything else outside of this basketball team. That's on you. I'm happy for you.
I'll see you there.
Yeah. I'll see you over there. So, anyways, but I did. I forgot that the White House was having a UFC fight on the lawn.
Yeah.
And somebody had. I listened to the Breaking Points.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And they were talking about it and how kind of dumb it was. Now, there are a couple of counterpoints. Now, here's the thing. So everybody has the opinion of this UFC event happening on the lawn, the White House lawn. They constructed like an octagon ring for it. And it's really classless and shitty. And they're not wrong. Because it's supposed to be for America's 250th celebration.
Yeah,
But Donald Trump had it on his birthday.
Yeah, technically Flag Day also.
Yeah,
that was the excuse.
Sure. You know how much we celebrate Flag Day
I know.
in this country.
Keep in mind, July 4th is on a Sunday, and would have also made sense.
Would have also made sense then as well to have it on 4th of July, which is America's actual birthday. But we do have a jackass wannabe tyrant, and I've documented before. I love Donald Trump on Twitter, and I loved him running in 2016. Never voted for him. I could say that. God's honest truth. War can strike me down right now, but I never voted for him. But I hate Hillary Clinton, and everybody in the world does. So. Yeah. But anyways, but this is stupid. It was stupid to have it there. But people brought up the fact that like Teddy Roosevelt used to box on the White House lawn and stuff like that. He actually lost a vision in one of his eyes from boxing
on the White House
lawn. He got and he was known for fighting and stuff like that, which is like, I think TV, when TV was invented and you could see that's why Vietnam War was way worse regarded than any of the other wars, is because we had so much film footage of it.
Yeah.
World War II, you didn't get to see what was happening to the Germans by Americans. Americans were really pretty brutal to Germans. And hey, they were Nazis. Their game.
Sure.
They were trying to take over the world. And they had skulls on their uniforms.
They had great uniforms. That's undisputed.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. And it pretty warranted, for America to fuck them up pretty bad. But from my understanding of Vietnam was this is the country just trying to do communism. Let them. Yeah, let them fail. We don't need. It's not our job to do it. And then when you go in, you see what's happening to them and what's happening to our soldiers. It made everything very unappealing, and that's why everybody was so against the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And so now you have this veneer of TV that has to apply to everything, right? So, for example, growing up I heard in school that when Nixon debated Kennedy,
yes,
that if you listen to the radio, you thought Nixon won, and if you watched on TV, you thought John F. Kennedy won.
Yeah,
the better looking guy. So, you didn't have fights on the White House lawn anymore.
Yeah.
Because it looked bad, and it does look bad. And the thing that was so lame about it to me was I watched one match. I watched Sugar Shane O'Malley versus some Canadian guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge MMA guy, but I recognize O'Malley. And they would start them off. They would parade them through the White House.
Yep.
And then they have to walk down a set of stairs. And all these Marines are saluting a guy in cornrows. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Pink cornrows. I'm like, what are we doing here? This is as gay as when Joe Biden had the trans people on the wall with their tops off. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It is really stupid. And that guy won. What's his name?
Justin Gaethje? Or Cyril Gahn?
No, Hiaki, or the guy who made the joke.
Oh, Josh Hockett.
Josh Hockett, and he won. And his big joke was Michelle Obama's a man.
Yeah, which he said before.
Sure, but
I'm just saying that's yeah.
Sure. Donald Trump probably loved that. He probably thought it was hilarious.
Did you see the reaction video?
No.
Josh Hockett came out and then put a chain that had his rookie card on. The UFC guys have cards.
Okay.
And so Trump put it around his neck. When he said that, there's videos of him making a face and taking the card off. But Yeah.
Oh,
So he was not a fan, but that's also PR. He has called her Big Microphone.
yeah, you know.
He made the video of them as monkeys.
Oh, really?
Do you not see it?
Oh, Donald Trump doing
Yeah.
that video. Yeah.
So he just called her Big Microphone. So that my comment to Sarah was like, "This is not. He doesn't get to pretend like he doesn't like that. He doesn't say shit like that."
Right, for sure. I mean, the guy is classless, you know, and what you want to say about the Obama. I'd rather, you know, stick to the, you know, I'm friends with people who have a lot of opinions about the Obamas, and I try to keep it about policy.
Of course.
It's not, you know, it's not about, it's not about the suspicions that you might have about this person.
Yeah.
Or what you think of their marriage. You know, or even like I think a more interesting conspiracy is that Barack Obama and George W. Bush are related.
Ah, yeah.
And they're like cousins to some degree. I think that's a more interesting conspiracy than whether or not Michelle Obama is who she says she is. I also don't think that that's true. But there was a guy, I will say, there was a guy who put up $100,000, and he said, if you can find a picture of Michelle Obama pregnant on the internet, I'll give you $100,000. And all he got were AI submissions.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that that's not true. It is weird for somebody to go a total of 18 months pregnant and not one picture taken of you.
Yeah.
You know, but also, let's focus on like what Obama did in Libya and Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning and those sort of things. And like, then about like some dumb theory or idea or racist or sexist thing that you want to put on.
Yeah. I found that the problem with trying to make that, I tried to make that argument very vaguely in defense of just kind of like watching the spectacle of it rather than getting mad about the comment. And my thing was like, this person did this. Trump is an asshole on top of doing the exact same things. You know, obviously at the moment, I think worse, but worse for the country. But those people they don't like the guy. They don't like Trump because he's a dick. Policies are second.
Right.
The policies are also there, but they didn't like him when he wasn't doing anything and he was just
some of the policies he has are good. And
well,
so
also less, but
yeah. It's what Bernie Sanders kind of said it best. He was like, "Yeah, I don't like Donald Trump, but you know, he's like, I don't like RFK, but we should be taking red dye out of food."
Yeah.
He's like, you can't be mad at somebody when they're right.
There are the people that will negate. They just don't care if they do anything right.
Yeah,
and so whatever.
I was more obsessed with the people who got mad that Nate Bargatze was there.
I saw that. That's an odd.
That's all I had to get off Threads because the unfortunate aspect of social media is that when you look at something and you hover over it or read the entirety of I don't know how many characters Threads allows, but we'll say 400 characters. That if you read those 400 characters and it's about one subject, the next like 8 threads are going to be about that same thing. And the more that you read it, the more that it's going to show you and stuff like that. Like social media has completely hijacked our brain. We are tards. And they access we are in the matrix now.
Yes.
And I don't know Nate Bargatze. I have friends with people who are friends with him. I hosted for him 15 years ago. He doesn't remember who I am.
Yeah.
And he's the biggest touring comic in the world, or in the country at least, as far as I know. Maybe Russell Peters does more bigger numbers. I don't really know or care. I'm not going to go on Threads and defend a millionaire comedian.
Yeah.
That's also pretty lame. But I saw a number of comics who are terrible at comedy, can't sell a ticket to save their lives, who are like, yeah, Nate's not funny. I'll tell you, I think Nate's the best working comic today. And I'll tell you why.
For sure.
I'll tell you why. I mean, because like they're like, oh, he's clean. And he works with restrictions on. The same thing we were talking about with the auto industry, right? Jay Leno had this great quote, and or maybe he was repeating something somebody else said. Toyota became the best car. Toyota and Honda became the best car in America because they made the best product within the rules that were defined for them. They didn't take shortcuts. They just did everything they could with the restrictions that were in it. And so when you want to appeal to a mass group of people, families, kids, you want to be safe enough for like you could enjoy comedy, but not have to turn it off because your kids are in the car. Nate did that.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say the word hell. And it's very funny. I watched when we recorded my special, I didn't watch any comedy probably for the year leading up to it. I just didn't watch comedy at all because I'm around it all the time.
Of course.
But after we put the special out, I signed up for Netflix and I started watching everybody's specials. I watched my buddy Dusty's specials. I watched Stavros, Dan Soder, Shane Gillis. I watched Michelle Wolf had one on HBO that I thought was fantastic. I think I watched a Gerard Carmichael one. All the ones that I could watch. Some of them I turned them off. And then, but I watched all of Nate's, and Nate's were great. They were really good. And to say that, like, I mean, you can not like his comedy. That's fine. But to say that he's bad at it is bullshit. And another thing that everybody was mad about, right?
It's also just a weird reaction to the thing. What's that got to do with him being fun?
Right. Yeah. I never liked Chris D'Elia's comedy. It didn't have any bearing on whether or not he was sexting with eight-year-olds or whatever he was doing. So the other thing, too, was that everybody was mad at him because he had a cruise, the Nate cruise, the Nateland cruise. I knew a couple people who were on it.
Yeah.
And they put out the lineup, and it was all white guys. The initial lineup announcement was all white guys. And then after they filled it out, they added, I think, a couple of women and a couple of like minorities.
Yeah.
Like I know one black guy who was on it, right? And all these women are like mad at it. And they're like, how come there's no women on it? I want to come on a cruise in front of families and talk about my bleeding pussy. And it's like, can you name? So I was just thinking of like, can you name famous, good, clean female comics? There's Leanne Morgan, Kathy Madigan, Ellen. Right? Ellen worked clean for a long time, but like, and I don't think that you need to be clean, but you have to understand these opportunities are not for you.
Yeah.
Like some of those comics who were on that cruise, they have wives who are comics who are not on that cruise.
Yeah.
And some of them, at least one in particular, their wife is funnier than they are. But that wife works dirty.
Yeah.
And so they can't afford Leanne Morgan to go on a cruise. They can't afford Kathy Madigan. She can play to that many people on her own.
Yeah.
What does she need to do that for? They're not going to have, they're just not going to have, I don't know, hardly, there's Josh Johnson, I think maybe works clean as a black comic.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, I haven't listened to his shit.
He can. Yeah.
I think he can, but they couldn't afford Josh Johnson.
No.
There's also
He's
like,
Byron.
yeah, it's like.
It's a cruise.
It's a cruise.
Yeah.
I think there are probably opportunities but it's just like you work with who you know. It's a part of his brand. There are people that that he knows and worked with over the years who are familiar to their brand. He has the Nateland brand. And if you go on the Nateland cruise, you want to hear people under that brand.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll be introduced to a new comic, but they're going with like the known commodities. Now, I just said I wasn't going to defend a millionaire comic, and I'm not. I'm explaining why dumb women don't know better. They really don't. When you start bitching about that, it's like every clip I've seen of a woman on Instagram, it's them talking more often than not about something that's not going to be family friendly, which is fine. Some of it's funny.
Yeah.
I think Lisa Traeger is one of the best working comics in New York City.
Okay.
I love watching Lisa Traeger. She's appeared to go up in front of 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And that's fine. She's probably, sure she's fine.
Yeah.
You know? So, but like, why complain about that? And why make that a component about like why you don't like that he was at the White House? And also, too, it's like, I think the guy's going to be okay. They could lose 10,000 followers on every platform.
Way more than that. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's still going to open up an amusement park.
You wouldn't even know.
I don't think he pays it. I think somebody posted it for him.
Why would you know? He's still going to go do arenas.
Yeah.
Why? Who?
Yeah. I listen when I listen to a lot of sports on YouTube. One of them is Dan Patrick, and his family bought him everybody tickets to go see Nate Bargatze at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. And I think if like you tell Dan Patrick, hey, Nate was at the White House for UFC, I think he'll go, okay, well, I'm got 4 tickets to a show. Even though like I don't like Trump, I still think Nate is a good comic. I'm never gonna pay to go watch him, but I mean like it's just part and parcel to like what we think the moralizing is.
Yes.
And it's like, did you guys have that same energy for when Beyonce was dancing for, you know, a king who had people killed?
No.
You know, like in Saudi Arabia or whatever, you know, like who there's the Saudi people who killed that journalist, you know, and then I think they had Meg Thee Stallion twerking for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like your morality online is only dictated by what's relevant and popular to you recently. Like they don't have any morals, these people.
Well, the morals are not there's no consistent morality. It is they're not mad at the thing. They're more excited to say something that shows something about themselves.
Yeah.
It's not, they're just doing a thing. It's virtue signaling. They're just doing a thing to be like, I'm against this and that. But think about me when I say I'm against this. Don't think about the thing. Think about how I'm on the side. And it's okay.
I saw one woman post a thread and she goes, I think Nate's a jerk for these reasons. And then, you know, it was like 1/80. There's like 8 more threads about it. And it was like, that helped me get to 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. What is the point of doing this?
Well, it's like some of the comedy shop stuff.
Yeah.
I saw a comedian that we know commented on the Nate thing, and someone responded to him on Threads and was like, hey, I don't know like if you're mad about this, but you know like the guy who owns these like the Meta is like a giant this and that, like was listing on stuff.
Yeah.
And their response was just like a meme about calling a Nazi apologist. And like, so you're not willing to confront the fact that you're lying about where you're willing to boycott or like what there's a line to where it affects you, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
When it's like,
yeah,
you do it when it's easy. You don't actually care.
Yeah. So the UFC thing, it was dumb. I don't necessarily like Dana White. I definitely don't like Trump. I don't understand. I guess there was like a fight between like some drunk people who were at the fights.
I'll tell you, I'm a massive UFC fan. So the fights themselves were great.
Were they?
It was a great card. Yeah, you know, it's the massive upset in the main event. Justin Gaethje, this old guy, beat this undefeated guy. Justin Gaethje was supposed to get murdered. Yeah, and fuck this dude up. Rearranged his face.
Wow.
Now, one of the controversies, there was a fight. There was a drunk fight. The bigger thing is Sean Strickland. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, of course.
He's the only male American champion right now.
Yeah.
He has been pretty vocal about the Iran war and Israel and all this stuff.
Yes, I did see that where
they would not let him in.
They wouldn't let him in. Yeah.
They didn't invite him, and Dana was like, he's not banned. Oh, he's not invited.
Right.
Like BJJ, a famous BJJ guy named Craig Jones was like, oh, I have 2 tickets. I'm going to just bring him. Yeah. They arrested him for disorderly conduct for conduct.
Was that true? Because I saw some AI videos.
See, he was arrested.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Good for him.
He got charged with disorderly conduct.
Well, there was another MMA fighter who was not on the card. They asked him his opinion about it, and he said that it's real interesting that there's one government that you can't criticize, and it's not ours.
Yep.
It's the Israeli government. I love all my Jewish friends, and I had a very lengthy discussion with my wife about it this week about, like, you know, Israel, Gaza, and like Mossad, Epstein, how I think all these things kind of tie together, and how I think America is occupied by AIPAC, and but I have to make sure that like my language and talking about it doesn't come across as I'm painting every Jewish person that way. Because I'm clearly not, but like I am highly fucking critical of AIPAC and Israel, and I'm allowed to be. But that could get me in trouble, like
the Thomas Nasty thing. And also, I don't know if you've seen this, but someone made a comment about the Florida governor a few months ago, and they sent police around. They said that he was on AIPAC, blah, 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 blah. He's no of Israel. And the police are like, are you threatening like this candidate or whatever? King your house over a Facebook post.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Okay, so MMA itself, probably the reason we want to have Cody on it, that he'll never be on because he has to sleep because he just got back from Japan.
That's so fun.
I texted him yesterday. I thought he was already back in America. He's like, no, I'll be asleep. But I have wanted to hit things for a while, and I have like I want to get out of like my normal routine.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to get back into MMA. I did a little bit at Williamsburg MMA. When I lived in Charleston, I did judo. Briefly, I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I did it maybe like twice. And I remember the first time like I rolled. Yeah. So gay sounding. First time I rolled with a guy, I was like, I know.
But with a guy doesn't hurt.
Yeah. First time I rolled with a guy. We were like wrestling or whatever, and he goes, "How long have you been doing this?" And I was like, "He's like, you're good." And I was like, "This is my first time."
Yeah,
I was like, "This is from years of growing up fighting." Like as a kid, I haven't been in a fight, an actual fist fight, in over like 25 years.
Yeah.
Like the last fight I got, it was in the Navy. I got a couple of fights with like guys I was on the boat with.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Well, one guy, he used to come to the birthing area and he would turn the heat all the way up. Right? So, like, we're in this dark birthing area. There's 18 guys sleeping in hot racks, like coffin racks, 3 to a thing. And I'm at the top and the heat blowing right out. Man, I would have nightmares and wake up sweating. And I'm like, why is it so fucking hot in here? Needs to be cold. You can put blankets on.
Yeah, exactly.
I confronted him about it. He swung on me. He hit me in the jaw. And then he walked out in the hallway in front of all the officers. I was getting ready to fuck him up. But I was like, I had a perfect military record.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to. Like, I'll just say this. He hit me. And I was still going to. He hit me in the face. And I was still like, I'm going to murder you. I've seen people get knocked out by getting hit in the face. I'm like, I'm going to murder you. Yeah. But I was like, I'm not going to. We're friends. I still love the guy. But it was like, we got into that fight. And I got into another fight with this guy who's in my division. And he kept fucking our division up by being such a piece of shit. Yeah. And I kicked his fucking ass. I just was like so over his bullshit. I couldn't take it anymore. But anyways, when I was in Charleston, I was rolling with a guy. I was like trying to flip him over, and I was laying on this, I think this arm, or maybe it was this one. It was this one. And I was trying to roll him over, and you could hear my muscle inside my shoulder tear. Ooh. You could hear it like a shirt. It sounded like I was ripping my shirt off. And so I had to stop right then and there. I never got surgery. I had injuries here and here. I never got surgery on them because I went to a surgeon, and he was like, yeah, if you want to play professional football, you should get these repaired. But I have a feeling that you're not going to be playing pro football. So why don't you just do some like physical therapy? So I'm in physical therapy for a while.
Yeah.
There's like a bike that you can do with your hands.
Yes.
So I did that for a while, apparently repaired, but also swimming really helps out. But I went to Williamsburg MMA for a while, for a few times. There's a comic named Diego Lopez, who teaches over there. I never took any of his classes because I didn't want to be embarrassed, but like, he's like a black belt.
One of the best fighters in the UFC right now is named Diego Lopez.
Oh, it's not this.
Yeah.
I always told Diego, and I would tell this to Cody too. I don't know what belt Cody is.
Oh, I know Diego, little guy.
He's thin.
Short.
No, he's tall.
What do you think?
Well, like, what do you define short? Are we talking your height or my height?
Well, me or shorter.
No.
If I'm calling someone short, they're short.
Yeah, if he's shorter than you, no.
Yeah.
No. Diego's probably like 5'11".
Yeah.
And thin. 5'10" maybe. And he's thin. And he's the nicest guy in the world. He's vegan. And when you look at him, I first met him at the knitting factory, and I would look at him, and I was like, there's no way this guy is like tough. And he would wallop me.
Yeah.
I don't know what belt Cody is. I don't know what his like specific, focus is within MMA. But I told this Diego too, I would pay money to watch somebody who's like 6'3", 300 pounds, like attacked up on the street, just so I could see what would happen to me if I did that.
Yeah.
Like if I would want to see how I would get my ass whooped without getting my ass whooped.
Do you ever watch those videos on Instagram?
No.
That never gets in your algorithm of just like people starting street fights with.
Oh, sure.
They just happen to be like a fucking, and that's somebody who trains.
Yeah.
And he just fucked up.
Yeah, no, I have seen that before too. There was like, but yeah. So I wanted to get into it because I don't know, it's a communal thing. Like I did enjoy going with the other guys and stuff like that, and also too, it's a way to like kind of centers you a little bit because I oftentimes I can be a hothead in traffic, or just if somebody pisses me off in general, I'm ready to throw down.
Yeah,
and heartburn. And I know I would get my ass whooped in the wrong situation.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's kept me like from doing that is my size. People think I will get gassed out quick.
Yeah.
And so I need to nail like one good like punch to start.
Yeah.
And then, but my goal now, I actually don't want to get in any fights. My goal is really to create separation between me and somebody else. I took some boxing lessons, and like, all I really want to do is be able to hit somebody in the kidneys to put them down long enough for me to get away from them. Honestly, it's
such a male thing to be like, I'm gonna need to be Batman at some point, and it's like almost never. Well, probably never.
Yeah. So
I have that too, though. I go to the gym.
Yeah. I'll never be able to kick. Roundhouse.
That'd be sick, dude. If you had a good kick.
Oh, I know. I have strong legs, dude. I'm like, but so there used to be a lot of fights in my neighborhood. I was grew up in a poor area, and everybody fought, and also like boys and kids in general just fight.
Yeah.
But there's this one, I used to be friends with this one kid. His name was Todd Everingham. I'm sure he still is Todd Everingham, but his name's Todd Everingham. And we were over in a different part of our neighborhood. And he was mouthing off or running his mouth to this kid named Tony Brown, right? And Tony Brown just hauled off and punched him in his fucking nose. Broke his nose and broke his glasses. Oof, right? So we go back to his parents' house and stuff like that. And he had to go to the hospital. He had a broken nose. They had to like set his nose back and stuff like that. He had to get new glasses. And his parents sued this kid's parents, right? Or sued him or his parents or whatever for it. And Todd was not talking to me at the time. Like between the fight and when the court stuff was set up, but then I was subpoenaed as a witness in this fight. And so I had to go to court and testify that this kid punched my buddy.
Okay.
Right. And I was always kind of like, this is weird and lame. That this is the only time in my life where I've ever, like, there are a bunch of fights growing up all the time as a kid. And kids got fucked up. Kids used to take gym locker, like those the locks, and put them around their hands.
Oh.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
This kid Corey O'Connor, he tried doing that with me one time because I wanted to fight him. And this other kid, Wes Palicki, who was like the toughest kid in the neighborhood, he goes, "You could fight him without it, or you could fight me with it." and with the walk on
Yeah.
hand, and the kid elected to fight me without it. That's how tough Wes Bullyging was.
West Bullyging.
Well, yeah. And so, anyway, so Todd, so this is how bad things were when we were kids. Like, we were in like junior high. This kid, he was trying to fight me or whatever. We ended up getting this fight right outside of the elementary school that we got dropped off at the bus right by the elementary school, a couple of blocks down from where David Bigelow, that kid who shot himself, lived. And our school had this big black top that was right outside. It didn't have a yard. There's no grass anywhere. It's just a big flat black top.
Yeah.
And so as we were getting into a fight, all these kids from junior high were already there. Then the elementary school lets out. There's hundreds of kids like watching us fight. And I start just like kicking his ass. He'd taken his jacket off. He had like a Letterman's jacket for football or whatever.
Yeah.
Some kids took it and then they pissed on it. And then the cops got called.
Oh, man.
And like somebody was about ready to hit him over the head with a skateboard.
Wow.
The cops. Yeah, I know. And these kids I went to school with are fucking murderers.
Yeah.
So then everybody scatters. And this is how young I was at the time I was in junior high. I used to be able to hop a fence in general. But I used to be able to hop a fence by like jumping and putting my hands up over and swinging my legs over without even having to like, and I felt like an Olympic athlete running through everybody's yards. It was like, hop the fence, run 10 feet, hop the fence, it was like.
Doing hurdles.
Oh, yeah, doing hurdles, basically, yeah. So anyways, I go testify. I hadn't talked to Todd in months or weeks or whatever. He was mad at me because he was always kind of a temperamental kid. And, I went and testified. And then we were hanging out. We started to hang out again one time. And then he got mad at me. He got shitty with me and got in my face about it. And he was like challenging me to hit him. And I go, I'm not going to hit you. You're going to sue me.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally going to fucking sue me. And I walked off and he was like, yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. I'm like, buddy, you have a case history of suing people.
Yeah.
Because you ran your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Eventually, he got to be a little bit more mature and cool and stuff like that, and I would talk to him again randomly. But we were like friends, but not really. It's like that term frenemy is,
of course,
which is lame and stupid. But like, there's always like this kind of like almost rivalry between the two of us. Because like I was like I think probably more popular than he was in school, but it was like I was also popular because I was a jackass and like was happy to make a spectacle of myself.
Yeah,
like a loser, and he wasn't wrong for thinking that. But from what I understand now, according to like mutual friends, like I could sell insurance in Ohio or something like that. But
yeah,
his parents were always really cool. And his brother, he had an older brother who was like the first like gay guy that we knew in the neighborhood.
Oh wow!
Like it was a big deal, but it wasn't like everybody hated him for it or anything like that. It wasn't like, oh, you're gay, like, well, let's burn you.
It was more of a knowledge.
It was more of like, oh wow, there's gay people out there. That's true, And his sister was always like, pretty nice to me or whatever. She didn't have to be, but I mean, those are tales of the whole South End. So anyway, I just, at this point in time though, I don't trust people. I especially don't trust people like random strangers in New York or whatever. And I don't want to get in a confrontation and not be able to like somewhat defend myself.
Yeah.
I got a massage a couple nights ago or whatever. And this guy, I had a guy do it. He was manhandling the shit out of me. It was right over on Steinway Street. Okay. I asked for it though too because I'm in a lot of pain. But he was like mashing on my head really hard, and he was on top of me putting a lot of weight. And I'm thinking, man, if this guy really wanted to, he could murder me right now.
Yeah,
he's got me in a position where he's got all his body weight on top of me. I'm thinking, what jujitsu moves could I do right now to get out of this massage? So, so I wanted to talk to Cody about that, but like, he's too tired for being in Japan. Anyways, so I auditioned for a commercial, and part of it was contingent on I had to tell a story.
Okay.
And I'll tell the story now. We can wrap up after that.
Amazing.
Hopefully, oh no. Okay. I was hoping that was the email saying I got the commercial. I auditioned for this commercial, and I had to tell a story. And it was like, and the prompt was just tell a story about something that funny that happened to you and a friend. And I'll make sure my parking. I'm doing a bad job today. I'll make sure my parking isn't going. Isn't. I'm gonna extend it. All right, sorry. I moved you all.
You tell a story about how your friend blew his house.
See, yeah. Funny thing happened. My friend took his friend's dad's service revolver, shot at the cops, and then shot himself. Hilarious.
They're coming for you.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing: is like so the prompt was tell a funny story about something that happened to you and a friend. It has to be under 2 minutes, like the whole tape. You slate, you give your name, your agency, your location, and then you tell a story, and then you do a 360 so they could take a look at your fat body. And so I told this story, and that was the thing I was worried about. I was like, what are some funny stories of things that happened to me? Well, one time I was shot at, or one time like a guy tried to stab me. And I was like, well, these aren't funny. Like all the funny things that happened to me aren't like, oh, one time I got the wrong flavor of ice cream at McDonald's. It's like, my friend got arrested. One time we stole a car, went to an ICP concert. Like, that sort of fun stuff. So I'll tell this one story though. It was I lived in Charleston, South Carolina. I lived with a friend of mine named Ryan, and we lived on the second floor of this condo community, and he had a balcony on his condo. It was a great setup, beautiful kitchen or open living room or whatever. I had my own bedroom and bathroom. And he had the master bedroom, the master bathroom or whatever in his end of the apartment. And we had a friend of ours who was going to Costa Rica for a couple of days, and he asked us if we could watch his cat.
Okay.
Right. And I didn't, have any objections to it, of course, and I'd never met this cat before. Ryan had lived with Joey and his cat, so he was familiar with the cat. Now, I'm at work when I, find this out. I work a long shift. I go to the bar afterwards, and I had a turnaround. I think I worked 2 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And then the next day, I had to be back at work by 9 in the morning. Okay. But I probably didn't get home until 2, right? Mm-hmm. We got this cat. It's dark. We got this cat in our apartment. And I come home, I'm changing, and I try to prepare all my stuff for work the next day ahead of time so that I could sleep as much as I can and do as minimal as I can to go into my job hungover. And the cat is meowing relentlessly. Right? He's meowing I close the door and the cat is meowing outside of my door. Yeah. Right? And I wish I had known then what I know now is I could wear a mask and earplugs. Yeah, generally pretty fun. I should have put on music or a white noise machine, a fan, anything like that. But I was just so dumb. And so I would bring the cat inside the bedroom. I thought maybe that would help the cat stop meowing. Then no, it didn't. So I put it back outside. I'm trying to go to sleep and I can't because this cat is just meowing relentlessly. I'd never had a cat in my house. So I thought, all right, I'm only going to be able to sleep for like 4 hours. I'm going to put him on the balcony for like 4 hours. I know. I know now. I didn't know that I was like, we're on the second floor. There's no way that he's going to like jump down. Well, I woke up the next day, opened the balcony, cat was gone. And I went to work. And then Ryan, my roommate, he called me. He goes, "Hey, have you seen the cat?" And I was like, "No, he's not inside or whatever." I thought maybe Ryan brought him inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought maybe Ryan brought him inside or whatever, I go, the cat's missing? He goes, "Yeah, Joey's cat. Can't find him." I'm like, fuck, man. So I left work early.
Yeah.
I came home and I went looking around the neighborhood for the cat. And I actually asked the landscaping guys. I was like, ¿Dónde están los negros? Gato. And they pointed over some bushes and there was a black and white cat there. So I grabbed the cat. I was like, PJ, there you are. I bring the cat back in. I bring him inside and give him food, give him water. And he's, looking around, reacclimating himself to the place.
Yeah.
So we got this cat, kind of an asshole though. And I was like, well, he's mad at me for putting him outside, things like that. I was seeing this woman at the time. She would come over, and I'd be like, "This BJ," and she's like petting the cat and everything. He starts hissing at her and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. He's being a real dickhead for whatever reason." I told her the story, and then so another couple days goes by, and Joey comes back from Costa Rica. He walks into the apartment and he goes, "Whose cat is that?" And Ryan goes, "What are you talking about? This PJ." He goes, "That's not my fucking cat, man. I found the wrong cat, and we have been nursing the wrong cat."
Yeah.
So Ryan and Joey go look for PJ, right? They take the feral cat. This ended up being a feral cat who ended up like pissing all over the place. They put him back in the bushes wherever he's from. They put him back in the bushes. They found the actual PJ. They found him. He was hiding in somebody's backyard. Joey found him, put him in the car, got air conditioning, got him water, got him some food. He had lost a little bit of weight, but he was like, overall, he was like fine.
Yeah.
Right? So there was a guy who used to, so I'm telling everybody this story, and there was a guy who lived in the apartment complex who we used to work with out at the hotel. He used to run a poker game.
Yeah.
And he said, and so my buddy had sat down at this poker game. He was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" He's like, "I'm in a really good mood. I finally got my cat back." And then he picked up the cat, put the cat up on the table. It was the cat that we had found in the bushes.
Oh wow!
So we had been he had, I guess, put up signs that he was missing his cat. We just had his cat, but we thought it was a different cat.
Put him back outside,
and we put him back outside. I guess everything worked out in the end.
That's crazy that everything.
It was
nuts.
Yeah, I know, because I would have felt extraordinarily mad.
How pissed was he?
Was which guy? The poker guy?
No, Joe.
Oh, Joe, he was pretty mad.
I'd be fucking furious.
He's pretty mad, but we're still friends.
Of course.
Day.
But
yeah, he was pretty mad.
Yeah. I mean, if it's your boy, that's like, what are you gonna do?
Here's the thing. I'd never seen the cat before. And the only time I saw the cat was in the dark. Ryan lived with the cat. But the cat spatially was different. The cat that I found was like 4 or 5 pounds heavier and bigger than this other cat. So he should have known, like, this is not the same cat. It's one thing, like, if I brought Billy in here and there was like a dog that was like bigger than Billy but looked kind of like Billy,
I would know immediately.
Yeah, it's like, this is not Billy.
Yeah. They're very, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the story I told him. I told it in summation, and my wife was like, "You got to re-record that. I don't think that's a good story." Well, I got a call back. And I call back with Jeff. I feel really good about it. That's why I keep checking my phone because I keep waiting for the confirmation email. Because after I'm getting screwed over by perhaps this production company, I'm going to need this money more than ever from the commercials for NBA 2K.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, the first reading of it too, I had to do an adjusted reading. The first reading of it was I would be talking to an NBA player, and I think it would have been Jalen Brunson.
Damn.
Yeah, but I don't know if maybe they lost him because they can't get him now. Because it's like, yeah, because he's now the mayor of New York.
Yeah, building a statue.
Yeah, basically, I bet he will get a statue.
They said New Yorkers is trying to crowdfund one. They've already got us they've already had it paid for. They've already talked to the building. They've already picked out a spot.
Really?
So it's pretty much.
Gee, he's still playing. Give him time. They should do it when he's done. You know?
He plays still. I'm not a basketball fan, but a few games I did watch of it. Am I crazy? And everyone I talk to, that's how he plays.
Again, it's not praise. Yeah. But it's productive and it wins. So
see you at the parade tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna win ugly. Anyways, that's all that's happening for me. This has been a drama-laden week between comedy bullshit and my own personal bullshit. So, I have to speak of cats. I have to watch Tom Delgado's cat. So, anyways, well, I wanted to have Cody on, but now I can't. So now you'll never be on it, Cody. Sorry, bud. What time? And I'm doing the roasted pod tonight.
Van cancel it. Van said he doesn't have a bandwidth today. Which, to be fair, I wanted to record today a week ago, and he said Wednesday was bad. So that's not a. I know.
Why does Dan not have the bandwidth?
He said he was doing something today, but he didn't tell me what it was. This was like a week or two ago. So this wasn't like I wasn't. We weren't running out of a guess.
No, that's fine. I get it. That's fine. I didn't want to talk to Dan about a dumbass show.
We got this again, but you got to do it each other.
Yeah, I'm opening the show tonight.
Yeah, I know. That's why it would have been perfect.
But. Yeah, whatever. But I will say this too. Greg Giraldo made a little clip of me. Did you see that?
Of
our interaction last. He cut it off, but like, it was a funny thing. I'll tell you. And I know Greg needs the clout chase, because he doesn't have a career outside of having his dad's name. But well, fuck him for making a clip.
Oh, you didn't like the clip?
No, I understand why he did it. Listen, I'd make clips of all the comics I've done battles with.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand. I'm not mad at him for making it. I am mad at some of the little minions that are like commenting on it because they couldn't even hold my fucking jock. These little open mic losers. This is where I get tested. But Greg had a good bit, and I will say, like, I mean, he edited it, so how the interaction went was fine. He had a good burn on me. And I didn't have a good burn on him because I was like basically kind of done with the roast by that point.
Yeah.
And you know, he was like, Greg Giraldo Jr., Greg Giraldo, famous roast comic, one of the best to ever do it, if not the best. And you know, I gave him a compliment. I was like, you know, you got a lot to live up to. Hopefully someday you could die of the drug overdose as well. You know, or something like that. And he was like, he made a joke back at me, and I was like, something about spoken like a man with heart disease. And I was like, yeah, it's true. If I owed you drugs. And he's like, you owe that back. And and my first instinct was to come back with, you should be on TRT. I didn't say that. Instead, I commented about how he has to bark for stage time for free with Dan outside the Comedy Village because he's a little desperate open micer. This got mad. I was kind of like annoyed.
Yeah, I heard it though.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, because I was mad with the whole production. Like that shit was like very uneven. And but I'm not mad at Greg necessarily for putting that out. But like some of the little other dorks who have to bark for free stage time outside the Comedy Village were like, ooh, fire. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Anyways. I just had like an all around like bad day yesterday. I just between all those like crap with that. And the answer was not fun for sure. And I was like, I don't know why I was so invested in the Nate thing. I was so invested in it, even though it has no bearing on me whatsoever.
That's my argument. When Sarah gets riled about shit on my head, usually political. I'm like, what is it got to do? You can't let that shit get to you, dude.
It is all social media. It is, and it's like my wife calls it parasocial media. That's because everybody thinks that, and I don't conflate myself for having a relationship with Nate to any degree. There's one comic, he is based in Nashville, and he started calling Nate out for all this crap, but it's, in my most cynical, it's purely clout chasing. That's all it really is. And this guy, he posted today. I'll read it because it was sent to me by a couple of people in text message. He was basically like, just broke. He lives in Nashville.
Yeah.
He sometimes does zanies. Zanies is the wonderful club. It's the club that's there. And he said, just broke up with Zanies, which was like breaking up with a situationship that doesn't like you and only calls you once every 3 months because they just want to make sure that you're still around. Fare thee well, Zanies. Your audiences were dumb as fuck, but luckily your green rooms were toxic and filled with occasional pedophile. And thankfully your booking policy is centered around white nationalist sympathies that emulate a 1920s vaudeville act. Bargatze being MAGA has nothing to do with it, and that's something I've known and been vocal about on the road. But my thought process was that if I knew the things I know about the owners and the club in general, I wouldn't work with that club on the road, so why I do not hold that same standard at home. Succeeding the entertainment industry, which he's not, means bending, that's my part, means bending your integrity at some point, and my day will undoubtedly come where I have to take the next step, but I'll hold on to it for at least one more day and end a relationship that has been nothing but toxic since day one. Well, the Booker made it on that. I thought a text from the Booker, and it was like the Booker was like, nobody here knows who you are. And the other thing is,
he said that? He responded to that publicly?
No.
Oh, that would have been beautiful.
No, I wish the Booker would, but the Booker has other things going on.
Well, that's the comments on the Greg thing too. It's like people get fired up about that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you're at home doing that. I have shit to do.
Right,
you have shit to do.
Right. And so the thing is like, I used to really like this guy, but I'm like so over this shit because he overinflates who he is as a comic. He didn't have a relationship with the club. Also, too, the Booker thing, he's Jewish. The owner is 80s Jewish. The owner outside Outback Presents, I'm pretty sure, is Jewish. If there were any Nazis who were performing at the club, I'm pretty sure they would have a problem with it.
Nazi doesn't mean Nazi anymore.
Nazi doesn't mean, and it just means somebody I don't like. It's so fucking annoying.
Vaguely Republican.
Yeah. And it's and that thing makes me more fired up. Like, you could have an opinion about Nate and you could not like his comedy. You can share it, but like, don't act like you are something that you're not. That's what a lot of these people are doing, and they're doing it so that they could look like a good person when nobody gives a shit about your dog shit comedy.
Yes.
You know? And so I'm like, that guy in particular, I know several people who just, before that even happened, they like, I unfollowed them. They don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why he lives in Nashville and wasn't getting booked on any shows in Nashville. And one of Nate's openers was posting, and I was posting pictures of him from 2016 in like Bernie shirts. And then like posted stories like, I'm pro trans, I'm pro left, I'm pro all the leftist talking points in order to distance himself from the shitstorm that Nate was going through.
Yeah.
And it's like, buddy, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Also, it makes you look bad because it makes you look like, all right, so if you're trying to appeal to the lefties, right, by saying, I've always been this good person, but then you knew this about Nate, well, now it just means that you're being complicit within what they perceive Nate to be.
Yeah.
And then also Nate's fans are looking at you going, What a loser.
Yeah.
What a loser. You are you're throwing your buddy under the bus. It's just so stupid. This like just do comedy and shut the fuck up.
Well, it's just you're not chasing reality. There's a lot of grifters on the right, the Brian Callens, the Dave Rubins, everyone that kind of just got really right wing for clicks. But it's like now exists on the left too, and it's like if you're playing to an audience, it's much harder to get likes and views and comments and engagement from being funny than it is a take people agree with.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is the reason that people go to comedy shows to agree with somebody now.
Right.
And not to laugh involuntarily.
Yeah. And then there are all these people who are like, well, if you're a clean comic, you're like MAGA and you're conservative or whatever. Then Bacchus is not clean, and he's an outright fucking far rightist. I'm not clean, and I guarantee I have some values that overlap with the left and some that overlap with the right.
Tyler Fisher?
Tyler Fisher.
He's nuts now. But
he is nuts now, but Tyler Fisher, you just used to be a guy who was doing Owen Wilson impressions and jokes about yoga.
He was a murderer.
Yeah.
A murderer.
Yeah.
Like, very few times. I mean, I saw him. I was there when he auditioned at the Cellar. I was watching. And I was just like, I just got to see his first like run there. Like, I didn't know who he was. It was super nice. Followed me, like we call. And it's like, but he just would crush.
Yeah.
That's a very talented guy.
Yeah.
You know, he got brainworms, but
he did for sure. Yeah. I think Tyler was just so driven to make it that, like, you know, people telling him no. His agent, from what I understand, from what he says he has a recording of, told him, like, nobody wants to work a straight white guy. That's, like, the fault of the agent, you know, for saying that. But it's, like, something that we've all kind of knew through the 2010s.
It wasn't in vogue, and it was hard to sell.
Right.
I mean, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah. But you know what the thing is that's funny about Trump being president, though, is that, especially the second time, all these corporations that had DEI policies completely chucked them out the window as soon as Trump got back. Yeah. Which goes to show you that the DEI policies were not actually about doing the right thing for these corporations. It was about they're afraid to be called racist.
Yeah.
And so don't trust anybody. Do whatever it is that you're going to do. You have Americans vote with their dollars. Yep. If you're not interested in something anymore, just don't pay for it.
Yeah.
And I paid too much time and attention to bullshit that doesn't involve me. I have my own problem, which somehow, I guess, by admitting that involves me in being a hypocrite, but I am a hypocrite. We all are. I'm a huge fucking loser. If you ever made it this far on the podcast, you know that by now. It's probably just my dad. So, anyways, well, we spent a lot of time talking and figuring out a few situations. So, I wish I had dates to plug. I should be plugging and promoting a play right now, but I can't. So this will come out after I'm in Stanford Comedy Club on Sunday. Father's Day with 3 people who don't have kids. Those 4 total, including me. And then I don't think I really have anything coming up. I know as sad as that is to say, what do I have coming up? Let me plug something. Nope.
You have some spots here in the next couple of months.
I do. I have some spots here, but nothing that I need to plug. I'm at Wits End in Charleston, July 10th and 11th. I was able to get that weekend back.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go back to Charleston for a couple of days. And then I'm at the Borgata Casino opening up for my homie Duffy Slay on July 18th.
Oh, that's
in City. Yeah.
The Borgata's fun.
Yeah. Just a couple of guys who both don't gamble. I mean, I would rather play like $20 Texas Hold'em with my pals, but I definitely not in a position to gamble anymore. So. And then, so I'm going to build these dates back up though. Now that this is kind of going on, I'm looking to maybe hopefully get involved in some other projects and do some artistic things that like I would like to do, just like writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I gotta get the right mindset for it. I feel like I'm scrambling because now I have to make money.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks to have like the chair pulled out from underneath you or the floor fall out from underneath you. Have to scramble for money now.
We've had to cancel headlining dates on people before, and now I offer them money. If I like Florentine, we had to pull like very close to the date, knock on the ground, and you didn't send them.
Yeah.
We'll pay you this much. Yeah, well,
I'm no John Warwick.
Yeah.
He has a fan base.
It's a different, yeah.
But like, some people are really good about being able to do those things. I having a Google Meet with the guys behind Punch Up.
Yeah.
Punch Up Live.
Yeah.
And they're like, how have you dove into the platform? Like, they wanted to talk about putting the podcast out on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't utilized it to the way that I should. They're like, why not? And I'm like, I'm trying to earn money.
Yeah.
It's hard for me I'm not a good nuts and bolts guy. Maybe I should let you look at it, but I'm not good at this sort of stuff. And like, maybe this is the time that I figure it. But there's nothing creative behind that. There's no like, I would rather write an essay about what I think about, a funny essay about what I think about the world, than spend an hour digging into metrics and analytics and asking ChatGPT how I can get people to buy $10 tickets on my show.
Yeah, that's really simple. Yeah, leaves a different side of the brain. It's fun.
That's what I had a conversation with them. What they asked, what would I like out of this podcast process? Yeah. They asked me to describe the process that we have for putting this out there. And they're like, if you could change the process, what would it be? And I would go, I wouldn't look at this at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't edit this one day. I would, but I think it's unfair to ask you to do it. But anyways, and then like, I wouldn't be the one to decide what the clips were.
Yeah.
But like, I would have to pay you more money. Anyways, that's something we could talk about later. But I mean, anyways, and I got into this to tell jokes, to be creative, and be a vessel for humor. You've been probably going to tell by this podcast. Anyways, all right, cool. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.